Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to mighty Akim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. And right quick, I want to get into the this topic of it is your fault. Okay, now what do I mean by it's your fault? Okay, when I say it's your fault, I mean it in the sense of like everything that we are suffering for, all the hardships that we're going through now, it is in fact our fault. Okay, so take a look at all the stories, all the history involving the Israelites and what they've done. We are paying for it. Okay, we are paying for what our quote unquote ancestors did. All right, and this is gonna be a bit of this is the primary reason I want to do this is because a combination of two things. I want to kind of re-show, because I believe I have shown it before, but I want to re-show, that reincarnation is in fact in the scriptures, as well as also remind Israel, okay, that we're not going through all this because just for fun or it's just for no reason. All right, but we went off when we had it all, and we were living it up. Okay, we fucked up. Okay, especially during the after the death of King David, King Solomon, those there was wicked kings that went and served other gods, and they put us into the habit, I guess you want to call it, of us going off. All right, but I'm not blaming them completely. All right, it is also amongst our. We know YAHAWASHI, we should be, seeking to serve YAHAWASHI and only YAHAWASHI. All right, so anyone that goes off, it's not just a burden of one person, it's all of us as a collective. All right, so now let me introduce it into the scriptures. First off, John chapter 9 from the top. And as Yahawashi passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth, and his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Yahawashi answered, well, actually, first let's just get into these first two verses. In the first verse, it shows they said that he was born blind. So he was blind from his birth, meaning that he was born blind, meaning that he had no quote-unquote opportunity, thinking of things in our current mindset that there's no there's no reincarnation. Okay, so people are saying that, okay, then he obviously sinned, that's why the Lord allowed him to be blind. All right, and then okay, maybe his parents sinned, that's why the Lord allowed him to be blind. But Yahawashi says in verse 3, Yahawashi answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of Yahweh should be made manifest in him. So understand the context of the disciples asking the question, who sinned, the man or his parents? If he was born blind and the context was shown that he was born blind, yet they still ask, did the man sin that he was born blind, or did his parents sin? So meaning that they did understand the concept of reincarnation, regardless of if it was called reincarnation or not. I'm just using reincarnation because this is the most universally accepted term for the meaning of someone that dies and they are reincarnated, or they come back to life, not directly resurrected as that same person, but basically kind of, I guess, as another person, quote unquote. All right. So, asked, did this man sin that he was born blind? Okay, but they also asked, did his parents sin? Okay, so yes, they said, okay, there's a possibility that his parents would have sinned, but they also asked that the man sinned. So they understood that they understood that reincarnation was in fact a thing. All right, and this is why this is why I really want to talk about how these things that happen to us are our fault. Okay, so if in our previous life, all right, let's say we were rich, okay, and we were using that money on some, and we knew we should not have been using that money for that, okay, yet then the Lord's gonna make us super poor, maybe, all right, like you're so poor you can't even afford a shirt, all right, and hey, I'll be honest, like I was super poor before this truth. I was poorer than I was before this truth than I was in this truth. I have more money now, call I YAHAWASHI with the YAHAWAH, and I have no doubt in my mind, because I definitely am not the best with managing money, but through this I'm improving. But outside of me, okay, making this personal, that it also extends into the punishment that has to fit a lot of times the punishment fits the crime. Okay, so you have to think also, like these kids, there's babies, I guess, or kids. I heard that I definitely heard, like, I think it was I want to say it was a 2-year-old, but I think it was less than a 1-year-old, where some Edomite dude raped this less than 1-year-old baby. Like that's that shit that happened. Like how, and this is a huge cut to like people, Christians primarily, saying stuff like, oh, how could he do this, or why did God didn't let this happen because X, Y, and Z. Like they don't know what they're talking about. All right, I almost got confused myself based on, with how much BS that they say. But the main thing is that they do not know what they're talking about, and it's just a matter of, they say that God would never let X, Y, and Z happen, but it just happened to a baby that's like 1 year old or something like that. Okay, or less. All right, I really don't remember. I'll just say 2 or younger. All right, 2 years old or younger. Like if the baby didn't, quote unquote, didn't do anything to happen, why did the Lord let that happen? All right, meaning that the baby is clearly has guilt. All right, like the Lord would not let something. Well, I mean, at the same time, it also was Edomite, so I don't know about that. But regardless, the point still stands. All right, and that is not an Edomite exclusive thing. There's a bunch of wicked Israelites too that have been going around doing crazy stuff. All right, like it's everywhere. It's among everyone, and we need to pray that we're not amongst that, and we don't let that, interact with that. We try to keep away with that. We try to get on the good side of Yahawadah, so that the Lord does not let that happen. Okay, especially, okay, like especially if you have a kid. If you have a kid, and you need to watch your ass. All right, you watch your ass, for not only for your sake, but for your kid's sake. That's something that I always think about. Like I don't have kids, but like I have loved ones that I don't want anything happening to them. Okay, and even outside of them, I don't even want anything happening to my brother. Like I heard, okay, like dead ass. I was watching this one YouTube video. Like right after I was doing a lesson, it was on my computer. I saw. I was on YouTube and I saw this some suggested video about some Jake talking about the terribleness of jail, and he basically said, long story short, this big dude raped this smaller dude. All right, and I don't even know if I could say that, so Slovakia, and like that scared me, because obviously hearing someone say X raped Slovakia raped Y. Okay, yeah, that sounds bad. It sounds wrong, but it actually going into how it happened and all the details, and how the guy was super just powerless and couldn't get help from anyone And while everyone else was trying to help him, they wanted to help him, but they could not. All right, like that's scary. That actually scared me. That struck fear in my heart, because not only would I not want the Lord to allow me to be put into that situation. Number one, I have to try to make sure that I don't get put into that situation. I literally prayed. I literally prayed to YAHAWASHI immediately after I was done watching that video. Like, don't let that happen. Intent and how he was just like, it's just terrible. Okay, like I would not wish that upon, well, maybe I might wish that upon my worst enemies, yes, but like, well, honestly, I kind of would wish that upon Esau. I'm not gonna lie, but because he definitely does something similar, and as a matter of fact, he has done similar to us in the past. So, just in general. But aside from that, it's just a terrible thing. We don't want that to happen. But at the same time, we don't have, one of us doesn't have control over the lives of the rest of us. All right, let me get that. Bear with me, computer is going slow. Philippians chapter 2 verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So we need to fear. That struck fear in me. Okay, that I do not want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen to anyone, and that's why I really like. It really is something that's even more so that you need to understand and remember that we need to get on the good side of YAHAWASHI. All right, we do not want the Lord to allow us to be worthy of such a terrible punishment. All right, please watch out, Israel, the 1/3, the elect. All right, for the rest of you 2/3, you wicked niggas, I don't care about y'all. You guys that can happen to you. All right, do I look forward to it? Absolutely not. I definitely don't. I will say that if that does happen, and the crazy thing is, it happened to a wicked 2/3, and I couldn't even take it. I was hoping that when as he was telling the story, that someone was gonna save him. I was actually hoping that someone's gonna save him. All right, and that was a 2/3. All right, and even then, I was like, okay, like. I had to remember that, you know what, at the end of the day, the Lord will not let that happen to an innocent man or an innocent woman or an innocent sister, innocent elect. All right. So it's because he deserved it. All right. Just Israel, watch yourself. Actually heed these words and actually fix yourself. All right. Speaking to myself first and foremost. All right. So, Matthew chapter 27 verse 25, then answered all the people and said, his blood on us and on our children. Now this was when they were crucifying YAHAWASHI. So when YAHAWASHI was getting crucified, these wicked ass, I want to say wicked ass Israelites, these wicked ass people. Where is it? Or whatever. Yeah, Israelites, I guess. I'm pretty sure it's Israelites. We're saying, yeah, we want him to be crucified, X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third. All right, and like these, they had the audacity to say, his blood be on us. Like they're saying that we will take the blame of any if it is if there's any punishment for putting him to death, let it fall on us. And I'm not saying that on me. I'm saying that to them. Like, they're saying that they are going to accept the punishment of it. And the thing is, this is serious things, okay? Because the Lord remembers, all right? The Lord pay them back, all right? And He's waiting, all right? He's waiting for the time when Yahawashi, when He returns. Yahawashi is waiting for the time when He returns, and He's going to pay them back for that, okay? Like they said, His blood is going to be on us and our children. Then they're gonna have to pay, all right? But oh yeah, I need to get that as well. Slakia, let me get that. This is also another thing. Over here, Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 16. The father shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. So now, there's also okay, whatever, we'll use this. All right, so it says the father shall not be put to death for the children, neither the children shall be put to death for the father. Okay, but let's also go back to here. Honestly, for the Exodus chapter 25, or Exodus chapter 20, verse 5, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, onto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Okay, and same thing, Exodus chapter 34, verse 7, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, unto the third and to the fourth generation. So we have quote unquote contradiction in the Bible, when in actuality it's not a contradiction. It's just a better understanding. Okay, so in Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 16, it says the father shall not be put to death for the children. So like, if I have a child, okay, and I did something super wicked, or I don't know a wicked example, I can't think of anything, but I murdered some people, some innocent, quote unquote innocent people. All right, the Lord will punish me for that. He's not going to punish my kid for that. He's going to spare my kid because my kid had nothing to do with it. Okay, should my kid be righteous, if my kid is trying to say, hey, dad, stop doing this, blah blah blah, you need to repent and do XYZ, blah blah blah, all right, and I'm just over here saying shut up, I don't want to hear, and I go and continue to do my wickedness, all right, while my son is trying to get right with YAHAWASHI and YAHAWASHI, then that is on me. Okay, I have to accept that, and I have to deal with that, all right. But over here we see in or I guess this is probably better, in Exodus chapter 34, verse 7 says, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. Okay, so what it means by that is, this is where the reincarnation in quote unquote reincarnation comes in, where it's not the Lord's not punishing the children, okay, for what the father did. It's the fact that, like, say for example, I have a grandkid, I have a grandkid, I have a great grandkid. Okay, so let's say since it's the fourth generation, okay, I died, all right. So my spirit, okay, is sent to my great grandson, all right. So I had a kid, and that's basically how it works, all right, because that's the third or fourth generation. If it's not the grandchild, it's the great grandchild, all right. And that's basically the spirit. That's the spirit of the next. What's the word called? The next the reincarnation. That's how it works. So because I was murdering innocent people, okay, in the, I guess, 4 generations back, then I have to answer for it by getting murdered in the next incarnation. All right, and that is basically how that works. And moving on, again, it's just back to it again. It's your fault, or it's our fault that we're going through all that we're going through. We might be able to say, oh yeah, I didn't do anything in my life. I didn't go killing anyone, but all this stuff is happening to me, X, Y, and Z. But it's because of what you did in the previous reincarnation. All right. Genesis chapter 25 verse 29. Okay. This is just also kind of a bit of an addition thing, because again, it also falls into people being irresponsible and not taking accountability for their actions. Okay, so that's a big thing in Babylon. When they do something spur of the moment, okay, they don't think about, okay, well, maybe this will come back to bite me in the butt, but they don't think about that. They just do it. They're short-sighted. Okay, and this is an example of that. Genesis chapter 25 verse 29. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage and of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So, Esau, he had the birthright, but he was short-sighted. He was basically like over exaggerating his exhaustion. Okay, I'm pretty sure we've all been to a point where, like, oh my god, I'm so freaking tired, X, Y, and Z, blah blah. Someone give me some water or something. Like, I need something. And then like you can spare a couple of minutes, or he could have just gone to someone else or whatever and gotten some food, water, drink, or something. But he was just so short-sighted. He just sold it for some pottage, some food. Okay, like some food for one time, rather than just thinking like, okay, damn, I'm tired, I'm gonna go somewhere else then, if you don't want to just help me out or whatever. Like that, it was literally that simple. And he chose to just be like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm just give it to me. I'll do it, sure, fine, all right. And again, I just want to reiterate that it is all in that Babylonian mindset of being short-sighted, not truly understanding the gravity of some of the actions that they take. All right, and with that, I hope this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, BaHaShem, YAHAWASHI, BaHaShem, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, DTA, Abad, Babal, and Shalom.